Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're listening to the Ask Brien radio show, AskBrien, and part of the AskBrien.com network. For those of you who have never listened to the Ask Brien radio show, well, I guess you'll learn to learn something new. What we do each week is we interview a startup, a CEO, someone up and coming. Maybe it's a product you've heard of, maybe it's a service you never heard of. What we try to do is introduce you to a new way to do business, try to teach you a business lesson in each time. Now, everyone asks, if you never listened to the show, why is Brien spelled with an E? When I went to school, everybody spelled Brien, B-R-I-A-N, B-R-Y-A-N. Why in the world would you choose Brien, B-R-I-E-N, and Ask Brien for your site? So here we go, the engineer, and that begins with an E, so I took one away. Why in the world would you spell Ask Brien with an E?
Come on, you take away my thunder every week now with taking one of the E's, and yes, the engineer is one of them.
Well, there is no thunder where I am because it's all sunshine.
Yeah, but that place does not start with an E. It starts with an H.
But it sounds like an E at the end.
That's
Hawaii
true.
E.
That's very, very true. Well, there are a number of words that mean a lot throughout. They're kind of like the themes of our show. One of them happens to be, well, empathy. But in this particular case, Mr. Brien was not very empathetic towards me because he took away my little word. So was not empathetic.
I gave you a chance to answer questions. That's very empathetic.
That's okay. You know what? He brought it back. The other ones we have are experts because everybody that appears on our show happens to be experts in their field. Others we have is effort because we all give 110% effort on the show. Other ones we have, let's see, empathy, effort, excellence, because everybody here exudes nothing but excellence. Aren't we forgetting two more there, Brien? Isn't one of them excitement?
It's enthusiasm. Woo, woo,
That's the other one. Hey-o. I got them all right. Am I missing one more? Because I know we might have added or subtracted one.
Well, because you have to be an expert on Ask Brien.
I already said expert.
To be on our show, you have to be an expert.
I said expert.
I'm not so sure. Anyway, we are live from Santa Clarita, Los Angeles. We have co-host Traci DeForge. Traci, you there?
Woohoo! I'm here! Yay! Hello, everybody.
And then we have two guests. Craig. Craig, are you there?
I'm here, sir.
And we have one more guest. Mom! Are you there?
I'm here. I could use that every morning. Thank you.
Oh, don't tell him that. Don't tell him that. Don't tell him that.
I'm going to be your alarm
clock. Be careful what you ask
I'm going
for.
to send you an alarm clock image of Mona. Your middle name isn't Lisa, is it?
It's actually Mona Leah, hyphenated.
Wow. That's pretty close. So, guys, we have two people today, so it's going to be a little bit trickier. But, Craig, I wanted to quickly go over your background, and then Mona will go over your background shortly, and then we'll go into what your company's doing, what you're doing, and how you're helping our society and our world with your prebiotic products.
Right.
Craig, you want to go first?
Sure. My name's Craig Goodwill. I'm a award-winning producer-director in the entertainment industry. That includes movies and commercials and documentaries. I came up in the world as a journalist for CBC out of Canada, telling stories in Ukraine during the Orange Revolution and the Haitian earthquakes. That's me in a nutshell.
And before you started this company, you were only exclusively in a film business. You never actually had a consumer product business, correct?
That's correct. Now, I did go to school for marketing and journalism as well, so I have a strong understanding of that. And of course, when I was in grade 10, I was in Young Entrepreneurs, a program where we made tie-dye socks and sold them to people. So I feel that set me up really well for, big business.
Now, you're a Canuck. Where are you from?
We're from Toronto, originally.
Well, I went to the University of Buffalo, which is about a 2-hour drive, so I know the area.
Well, my parents live in Fort Erie. My parents live in Fort Erie, so.
Well, that's pretty close. Of course, not where I am right now, but pretty close to when I was.
No.
Now, Mona, you are, what do you call it, a homeopathic nutritionist? What exactly are you?
I'm a registered holistic nutritionist, so I teach people how to use food and supplements to optimize their health. My life looked really different about 10 years ago. I come from the corporate beauty world. I worked for a lot of fancy names like Christian Dior and Tom Ford. I think I had, someone's dream job on paper, but that led to me burning out. So I was waking up in hotel rooms, not knowing which city I was in.
Hey.
This is an adult show.
Happened to me too.
We'll deal with that later. But I actually suffered from major anxiety, and I ended up with major heart palpitations that led to me having 2 heart surgeries. And it wasn't until the second heart surgery where I was staring at my heart on a massive screen, wondering what the hell I was doing there. Because with my background, my dad is Danish, my mom is Danish, my dad is Indian. He took us to live on an ashram every summer, and if you know anything about ashram living,
now,
it's really all
is
about
ashram?
food as medicine.
People don't know.
Yeah, an ashram is it's a spiritual center where people really focus on the power of food. We focus on meditation every day. You're focusing on breath work and all of those things. So, in my 20s, I had to get my partying out, I guess, and then it took me having 2 heart surgeries until I went back to my roots.
Wow. And so did you have to go back to school to become the registered homeopathic nutritionist?
I did. Yeah, I did a really great program in Canada. And then it was about 10 years ago that Craig and I moved down to LA from Toronto.
Cannot hear at all.
You guys there?
Can you hear us?
Peter, you guys there?
I can still hear you guys.
Oh, are you guys? Can you guys hear me, Peter?
We can now. Yeah, I can hear you. Did we lose Peter?
You know what? We might have lost Peter. We might have.
Okay, let's go. Let's keep going.
He's coming in. Oh, he's coming back in right now. Give me 1 second. Let me just put him in. Just keep the ball rolling, Traci. Hold on.
Okay. Well, I just want to say that I completely relate to that whole accelerated corporate experience and then experiencing that burnout. So I applaud you for recognizing that, even though it took 2 heart surgeries for that to happen.
Thank you. Yeah, it's crazy how common that story is.
Yeah, it's just, and I think, when we're driven to success to the way that you are, clearly, and when you're young and experiencing that at the same time, it's like you think you're invincible, but then you find yourself, like in my case, I found myself in the fetal position in front of F.A. Schwartz in New York after collapsing after a live event. It was probably one of the most high-profile events of my career, and I was like, and the irony there was a toy store was not lost on me either, but it was, I've had a couple of not one but 2 of those experiences in my life, and I'm really not looking for a third one. So I'm very excited to hear about your programs. So what got you? So post heart surgery, was that the big pivot for you, the second heart surgery, and then what dramatic steps did you take to pivot?
Absolutely. So, I threw in the towel to the corporate world. I went back to my roots, and I really started to learn what this was, the foundation of food as medicine. It's not food is like medicine. It's food truly can be our medicine. And I started, luckily working with a lot of professional athletes right out the bat, and, was changing their meal plans and their menus to really focus on food to optimize their performance, their mindset, their digestion, their mood, because today we also know the power of our digestion is really linked to our brain health, right? Our emotional mood every day, our energy. And so I started to notice that some minor changes in their diets led to really big results. And so I've been talking about gut health and probiotics and prebiotics for a long time now.
And when you were, I wanted to highlight the fact that you spent time in an ashram as a child growing up, and then did you feel like that you just got away from your roots and then this brought you back and gave you this beautiful gift of then impacting other people's lives with your information. But is it one of those things that as you're a child you don't really appreciate where you are until you look back on it?
Absolutely. Do you know, I have so many memories of living at the ashram and, looking at my dad, like, what do you mean we have to go meditate again? What do you mean you're waking me up at 5:30 to go to a meditation hall? They're eating only vegetarian food. There's 2 meals a day. There's such a strict schedule around yoga and breath work and meditation that it kind of was not fun at all. So, obviously it was an amazing blueprint for me, but I definitely think that I did not understand the value of it. It wasn't until my own health was suffering that I really understood why we went there. My dad took us there because my mom suffered from debilitating autoimmune disease. And looking back, I remember specifically seeing my parents' energy thrive. My mom's inflammation and pain would go down. We would leave feeling so much more relaxed. And this is all something that we're all hungry for today, right? Do we all not want to wake up with more energy every day, feeling better, closing down some of the tabs in our brain because our brains are just running nonstop? And that's what I say about the ashram. Like, it really, truly is the ultimate wellness retreat.
And your business, your name is your brand. And you do a lot of consulting and programs to help people get on track, even some famous names like Will Smith and Julianne Hough and some other well-known household names, if you will. And then you've also launched this drink product based on the foundation of it is Xicama.
You got it. Yeah, so I've been working in this sphere for a while. I got a phone call from Will Smith just over a year ago, and he was really excited about this idea of food as medicine. And so he brought me on to the Red Table Talk, which is his wife Jada Pinkett's TV show. And that's when I was able to bring one of my colleagues, Dr. Mark Hyman, one of the really famous functional medicine doctor on. And we talked about, food and a lot of the health issues that people are dealing with today. And I can tell you that the feedback from that show was phenomenal. What I always say to my clients is just because your symptoms are common, they are not normal. And yet here we are. We've gotten used to living with these kind of debilitating symptoms every single day, whether it's something as minor as a headache or feeling bloated or poor sleep or insomnia to something that's more major to anxiety or depression. So, since then, it's really amped up the forces of, my personal brand. But it was also around the same time that we launched our company called Xicama. And Xicama is based on the root vegetable, Xicama. It's the superfood. It's really high in prebiotic fiber. And everybody who's listening has probably heard a lot about probiotics, from yogurts and kefir and kimchi and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of science is really going towards prebiotics. And prebiotics are basically indigestible fiber that come from a lot of natural sources that we know fuel the probiotics that live in our gut. And our gut health is basically an ecosystem of bacteria and fungus and, all of these living viruses that we want to really optimize. So Xicama is something that I've used on my clients' meal plans for a long time because it's a perfect swap out for things like crackers and cookies and cakes. It's crunchy. It's loaded with vitamin C, lots of hydration, and super great for your digestion. So we ended up turning it into a product.
And some really great flavors, too. Spicy watermelon, coconut pineapple, cucumber ginger. Is there any specific reasons behind the formulas of merging those flavors together, or were those just flavors that you developed for taste purposes?
We partnered with some amazing mixologists, our hospitality partners, and we wanted to create 3 amazing flavors because what Craig and I say is we want to put the fun in functional. So, a lot of people think that when they try a healthy drink, it's got to taste a certain way or they have to plug their nose, but we wanted to taste something that was really great. So our cucumber ginger formula is really light and refreshing. Our spicy watermelon is nice for a little bit of a kick. And then, of course, we wanted to honor, the really sweet and fun flavor, which is our coconut flavor. So it's always interesting to see which flavor each person likes the most.
So I'm definitely want to try all 3 of them. And now and so tell me about your experience with Coachella.
Yeah, so Coachella was a pretty incredible experience.
Yeah, Coachella was fantastic. We were just a little idea And then we got a call about 2 weeks before Coachella 2019, and our hospitality partners run all the VIP bars there. And they said, hey, would you like to be one of the official beverages of Coachella? And we're like, yes. And then, we had 2 weeks to prepare. And then we had 2 weeks to prepare. No, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. No, thank you.
But we found out 2 weeks before Coachella. So it was, we had this little test brand that we were playing with, a boutique idea. And next thing you know, we needed to be able to serve 15,000 people in 2 weeks. So I slept on my co-packer floors out in Texas, getting the product ready, getting it shipped to Coachella, where we ended up breaking sales records for beverages outside of water and beer. We were the number one selling beverage there. So that was, and in the first weekend, we sold out everything we had for 2 weeks. And so I had to go back to the co-packer, reorder, re-sleep on the floor, have it re-sent back out the second week. And then, and that was the ginger cucumber version we had there. They added some really great tequila to it, and then they sold it for $20 a drink. And then from there, we really realized that, we were on to something.
I like the one with the tequila into it. So that was just an added spot by Coachella, or is that by in your drink itself?
No, that was something Coachella does. Now, we have developed a 100-calorie version that has natural tequila in it with our flavors and canned. That's going to be on we've kind of looked at our spearhead is the natural natural version and healthy version that we're putting out now. But we've developed this kind of version that kind of takes on the White Claw market, but is much better tasting and much better for you, even though it still has tequila in it.
Is that competing
with
a little
vodka would be good.
Vodka is fantastic with the cucumber ginger and then a nice spicy rum with the coconut pineapple, and then with the spicy watermelon. It's all about a mezcal or a tequila.
And I guess the big question is do you sell it in Hawaii, right?
It will be selling in Hawaii immediately. And people that will be distributing it.
Well, where did it all begin?
We have about 3 minutes before we're going to be taking a break, guys.
And I'd just love to know where was the spark of the idea?
Yeah, so as I said, Xicama has been on my clients' meal plans forever, and we were actually in Hawaii. We were pregnant with our second baby, and Craig was eating Xicama, as we usually do, and he said, you know what, this would taste great juiced. And so we flew back to LA, we threw it in a juicer, we thought it tasted amazing. It's kind of like this sweet, frothy watermelon kind of a drink, and we went directly online to see who was selling Xicama juice, and no one was doing it. And that's when we started to have fun. We went straight into formulating some products. We started making 2-ounce wellness shots because wellness shots are a really big trend, so anti-inflammatory wellness shots. We started playing with just Xicama water on its own, and then we mixed it with sparkling water, which we thought tasted fantastic. And that's when we started getting it out to our friends and family and doing some testing and sampling. And the feedback was just constantly affirming that we were on to something new and also innovative. So we're really excited to take something to market that's brand new.
And then we got invited to be at Coachella 2020.
Which we all know how that story ends.
Yes, unfortunately.
So we have about 2 minutes left, or 1 minute left. So have you been able to sell products during the COVID?
Oh, yeah, we've done it. So basically, in March of last year, when I was in another co-packer getting ready for Coachella 2020, we were going to be, we had started conversations with Virgin Cruise Lines. We have a hospitality partner that is the Sidel Group, and so that's Ace Hotel, MGM, Nomad. We started developing all these kind of, places where we were going to be selling. Obviously, the COVID hit the hospitality market pretty well, so we had to do a pivot to direct-to-consumer. So we spent the last, 8 months not only doing that, but getting ready for when post-COVID was going to be coming. So we did really well with our direct-to-consumer, even though we were originally set up to be a food service as our first play.
All right, well, we got to take a break. We're going to be right back. We have two excellent guests, Craig and Mona. And Traci, please don't scream their names next time.
Oh, okay. I'll really try hard. Self-restraint, self-restraint, self-restraint.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Green Thumb International, your lawn and garden professionals, have the widest variety of shrubs, flowering plants, and garden supplies in the Santa Clarita Valley.
Winter is the best time to plant spring bulbs, so you'll be rewarded with beautiful flowers and tasty and nutritious food in the upcoming milder months.
On Newhall Avenue in Old Town Newhall near Sierra Highway, Green Thumb puts the green in your thumb.
When you're looking for a midnight snack, sometimes fast food just doesn't cut it. California Bakery and Cafe is open 24/7, so you'll be able to find fresh donuts, danishes, bagels, all-natural fruit juices, gourmet sandwiches, and much more at any hour. With elaborate cakes for any occasion, including weddings, baptisms, anniversaries, corporate events, or any special event. California Bakery and Cafe in Santa Clarita is open 24 hours to satisfy any craving, anytime. Call us, 255-1254. That's 255-1254.
If you have a business problem, if someone doesn't honor their agreement and you need an aggressive attorney with over 27 years experience, the Law Office of Peter Bronstein has helped partners resolve disputes, franchisees resolve disputes, and other business owners who have a challenge. Let the Law Office of Peter Bronstein take your stress away. Visit lacorporateattorney.com. Don't wait too long and lose your rights. Solve your business challenge problem today. Visit lacorporateattorney.com.
Hometown, your hometown station.
Welcome. You're listening to the Ask Brien Radio Show on KHTS 1220, 98.1 FM. Like no other station in the world. All right, we're back. I didn't know if you knew that we were like no other station in the world. I just want to make sure everybody knew that. We've got some great guests. My co-host, Traci, as always. We've got Craig and Mona. And so we have a couple questions. If I come up with a great idea for a drink, okay, great. What do I do next? I mean, how did you decide, okay, great, I got this juicer and it's working. How am I going to make this into a brand, a drink that I can actually distribute and sell? I mean, that'd be very tough for me.
Yeah, I think you make, first of all, you start making a bunch of little mistakes throughout the process. The key thing to start is once you have your recipe, how do I, and if you want to be something that's actually sold and magnified by 100,000 times, how am I going to reproduce that taste, that great taste you have in that drink over and over and over again? So each can you open up tastes exactly like the other. And how do I, when a big box store, how do I provide? So what you really need to do is get into the operations, understanding ingredients, understanding shelf life. We have a lot of friends that are in the natural juice business who have a 30-day shelf life and are constantly throwing away products. For us, it was, we know that shelf stability was an important thing in this business. So for us, we really delved into the efficacy, the sustainability, the operations, the ability to do, even if the world came to an end like it almost did with COVID, we are still able to operate and get product out. And that, for us, was the key to success. We didn't want to be a little boutique brand making, 100 drinks a month and selling it. We really wanted to kind of be, and we see ourselves as the next coconut. Just think of 15 years ago where coconut was and where it is now. It dominates the market, not only in drinks, but in food and in candy bars, all those kind of things. And that's how the vision we see for Xicama is not only a drink company, because we've fully developed from the refuse of the creating the Xicama drinks, we have all this leftover jicama pulp. And what we did, we actually turned that into a prebiotic, nut-free flour. And then from that flour, we began cooking with it. We created gnocchis and cakes, all prebiotic, all taste fantastic. What's great about jicama flour is that it doesn't have, it's a bit neutral. It only has a little bit of a sweet taste, but it's fantastic. And even if we tested amongst our kids, they were just blown away by it when usually trying to get them to eat anything that's vegan,
gluten-free,
nut-free,
all the free.
All the frees, they would say this
but it
is
wasn't
free to go in the garbage. No, but it's a
low glycemic.
It's a low glycemic sugar, so it's very different.
Yeah, and that's a good point too. So with all of these, we know that there's like a dominance of really sugary drinks in the marketplace. So the fact that we have fiber in our drinks, it stabilizes your blood sugar. So the same thing happens when we cook with it. So the big picture for our brand is develop these products that, have the sweetness to them, but they actually support your blood sugar.
Well, that's excellent. Many people in this country have sugar issues, cholesterol issues. So if you can have something that's healthy, that's different than.
And we also have studies out of Japan that show the use of jicama and its effect on type 2 diabetes. So jicama really is a superfood. And it was, when we first started, people were wondering what the hell we're doing. They thought we were crazy. And then Gwyneth Paltrow and Rachel Ray came out and said jicama is the next superfood. And suddenly everybody started realizing that we were onto something.
Well, I mean, Gwyneth Paltrow is a pretty big star, not that Will Smith and the other guys.
Yeah, no vagina cancer.
You have Will Smith and Gwyneth Paltrow endorsing jicama. You've gone a long way in a short period of time. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
So one thing I'd like to touch on is, go ahead.
No, I apologize. You go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to pivot for a second and talk about, so you guys are partners in life and in business, correct?
That's what she tells me.
So, hold on. The biggest question is, who is in charge?
You know what? We just got asked this question by an investor because they're obviously, they're like, how do you run a company, run 2 kids, Will Smith thing, do all. And we really are very good at compartmentalizing and sharing and using our strengths and focus on different parts of the business. I handle, I'm the super handsome one, so I handle obviously the operations and the behind the scenes business. The numbers and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, Mona has a strong understanding of that, but she's more of the front in terms of efficacy, PR, female-led, diverse leader. So we make a really great team.
Yeah, we do lots of pass-offs in the kitchen and high fives, that's for sure. But I would say more than anything, even especially for this past year, things have been hard. So our heads have just been down. We're just staying focused on the really big picture and really how we want to feel. And it's funny how that really ties into our drinks as well. Like when we think about people drinking jicama, we think about them doing it in a really fun way. Somebody who wants to be out there, eventually re-socialize, but just doing something that's fun, but knowing that they're doing something to honor themselves and be good to themselves. It's going to keep them feeling healthy.
And we were really inspired by the fruit cart culture that's down here in Los Angeles. Like you can get jicama, you go up to Chicago, they are kind of aware of jicama, but anywhere here in Los Angeles, you could hit any street corner here, and you can buy jicama from a fruit cart. So that was really inspiring to us that it had that, not only had that health benefit, but it was a generationally loved, especially in the Southwest. And then every time we would go to the grocery store and, the cashier would always lean over to us when we were buying, cases of jicama and they were wondering what we were doing. They always had a little secret to tell us about their grandmother and how their grandmother used to give them jicama to make them feel better in their stomach. So it was you just felt the love, the warmth, and the fun that this product inspired amongst people.
Are you going to stick only with jicama, or are you going to go into other fruits and vegetables?
That's a good question. Someone asked that the other day. I think, At this time, we're very focused on our current drink launch. And then ultimately, what's great is we had right now you can buy jicama wraps at Whole Foods, right? They're like natural jicama wraps. It's called Jica, the company. So they reached out to us yesterday, and they are interested in partnering up because on their end, they have 1,000 gallons of jicama water available to them. That's their refuse. That's what they usually throw away. So, we're really looking at using the entire product out in the marketplace. So we think we have, and if we really want to do what Zico did with coconut and other coconut brands, we feel we have a lot of opportunity with jicama, and we'll look to other opportunities as we move through.
I think it's a super smart move to focus on that too, because there's coconut milk, just like you were saying before, and this could be that next trend. Especially, I didn't realize the centuries of ancient wisdom behind it and how it's been something that's been such an integrated part of people's culture for so long.
Absolutely. It's pretty cool. We can use the entire vegetable, which is really great. So everything that we've made tastes amazing. So we're excited to get this out. And, the fact that it could take over the coconut market, where my mind goes, is really for kids. All these allergies that are popping up where people need something that is also nut-free or dairy-free. We can turn our jicama juice into a jicama style of milk as well, or a sweetener. So it's so versatile. We're really excited for that. But yeah, definitely right now we're focused on our jicama drinks.
And, the exciting part, too, is being brought, we were introduced to this show by Brien over at Dojo, Expert Dojo, so we're going through an accelerator right now. We have, 5 investor meetings every day for the next 3 months. So it's a really powerful time in our lives. So it's we're kind of keeping our heads down, but looking towards the future.
So I have 2 questions. One is, right now you have the drink, you have this jicama seltzer that you have. You're going to also get into liquor, and you have flour to make these cookies. Are there any other products that you guys have currently?
Well, we've only developed, so currently we're just selling the drinks right now. We've developed all that wide range of products, but because of capitalization, we're coming out of COVID, getting investment together for the next stage. Our main focus is the drinks, but obviously we talk about the versatility and the product launches that we have coming down the road.
So last year we had somebody on Ask Brien for Oatly, and they were taking oats to make milk. We've had almond milk. So can you make jicama milk?
Yes.
Yeah, you can. What's really cool with jicama
milk and chocolate cookies.
Yes, that's the plan for sure. It's nut-free and it's naturally sweetened as well.
Well, and Oatly just had a big IPO, right?
We didn't have an IPO, but Oprah Winfrey has invested in it, and they are seeking $1 billion through an IPO in the near future.
Wow.
Mona, so how are you continuing to operate as a homeopathic nutritionist and potentially doctor while you're developing?
Her father would be so proud. Her Indian father would be so proud.
Yeah, it's a juggle, especially with 2 kids who are 6 and under. So right now I'm actually working predominantly with Will Smith. So he's doing a TV series that's documenting his health journey. He has to lose weight for his next role, and he wanted to document everything. So I'm on board for that, which is really great. And then I get my clients in one-on-one when we're at home, but otherwise it's all hands on deck for jicama.
And
how are you keeping... Sorry, we just keep talking over each other.
Yeah, it's difficult because we're not all in the same studio. Go ahead, Trace.
I was going to say, so how are you practicing your own wellness techniques? You're talking about sleeping on the floors of co-packers and 2 kids under 6 and meeting with 5 investors a day while you're launching these product lines. How are you practicing what you preach?
No sleep.
That's such a great question. I catch myself every day. I think I just put a post up about this yesterday. I was on a call, teaching Jesse Itzler's community about how to do this when you're someone who's driven and on the go and juggling so many hats as we all are doing these days. And I think it really comes down to rituals. Whatever habits that you make, you have to turn them into a ritual every single day. So over here, my mornings are my everything. I'm up between 5 and 5:30. I'll go through my practice and, get everything done that I need for myself to start the day off right. Otherwise, nobody's happy in this house. And then outside of that...
Thanks for laughing. Go ahead.
Happy wife, happy life.
And then, of course, obviously, it's really food. Food is fuel. I know that whatever we consume is either going to fuel health and energy that we need to keep this ship running, or it's going to make us feel depleted and fuel the fire and fuel inflammation again. I've been there, done that. So I just try to stay ahead. On the weekends, I'll really take time to do a little bit of food prep. I'll only stock the food in my fridge and my cupboards that I know are healthy for us, because if you don't buy it, then you can't eat it. And so it's really my philosophy. And then outside of that, a little bit of mindfulness every single day. So my philosophy with my clients is to teach them, how do you take the ashram and bring it to the city? None of us can escape to a wellness retreat right now. So think about, what are the 3 rituals that you need to practice every single day to feel your best? For me, it's meditation. It's the food that I eat. And of course, just having a list of the things that I need to do so that I could just rest at night.
What about exercise?
Yeah, exercise is definitely not the same priority that I had given it in my 20s. So exercise comes in running after children, taking the stairs. We have a beautiful Peloton bike that I will hop on when I get 15 minutes here and there. So I get it in. I've really kind of lost that mentality of beating myself up. And we're also lucky enough, coming from Toronto, we live in California. So getting outside for a walk is everything to me. That's how I get it in.
That's excellent. And are you guys, how many employees do you have?
Oh, how many employees? Well, you're talking to 2 of them right now. And yeah, star employees. But we basically at this stage, we're using consultants and advisors.
Okay.
One of our advisors discusses us as a inhale, exhale company. When we need people, we bring them in. When we don't need them anymore, we put them back out. So it actually is great. It's hard. Sometimes it's a little challenging to keep the kinetic fiber throughout the entire thing. But if you are always bringing in and putting back out the same people, it can be quite a great boost to the energy versus full-time at this stage.
How many cans of the Xicama drink can you make per month?
How many can we make?
Yeah, produce. I mean, if you say, tomorrow I got an order from Walmart for 20 million. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we are, what the interesting place of where we are as a startup is that, we're doing our next run, which is 20,000 cans. Our can run last year was 20,000, but half of that was meant for Coachella. So we sold the amount that we planned on, and now we're using the Coachella amount for marketing opportunities. But we're doing another run, new boxes, new cans. We're putting a different SKU of a mixed 6-pack out as well. So we're doing a run. So basically that will be 20,000. We'll be done in 8 weeks. But if Walmart calls us and says we need, 1 million cans, we can do that. But you have, the key to the startup business is that you don't want to get, we have 2 lines. Don't get over your skis and don't run out of runway. Because, the capital intensive aspects of this business are much different than, say, a tech company or whatever it may be. We have storage and trucking and canning and, nutritional and FDA and all these kind of other auxiliary items that can really start, chipping away at your capital requirements. So we are prepared for Walmart to come. The key with that that LOA or the MOU that they would provide is then going to find the capitalization to make sure you can actually take care of that in terms of ingredients, canning, and operations. So, it's been a real master's degree in business going through this especially the backgrounds we come from.
And one last question we're going to be doing. Blake, go ahead, Blake.
No, you go. I'll ask when we come back.
Well, we have to take a break, so we're going to be right back. We're listening to KHTS 1220 and 98.1 FM. Like no other station in the world.
Healthcare can be difficult if you're underinsured or have Medi-Cal. Samuel Dixon Family Health Center can help. Services are available on a sliding fee schedule. The mission of the Samuel Dixon Family Health Center is to give the Santa Clarita Valley access to affordable, quality primary care. There are 3 locations to serve you: Canyon Country, Newhall, and Valverde. Go to sdfhc.org for more information and to find the location most convenient for you.
Who says nothing good happens after midnight? Denny's is best known for their breakfast served round the clock, like the Grand Slam. But you can enjoy breakfast, lunch, or dinner in a casual atmosphere 24/7. At Denny's, the lunch and dinner menu has a variety of appetizers, craveable burgers, salads, and entrees, along with the best desserts in town. Wherever you live in Santa Clarita, there's a Denny's close by. If you're pulling an all-nighter or don't feel like cooking, get into Denny's today. Good stuff is happening at Denny's.
If you have a business problem, if someone doesn't honor their agreement and you need an aggressive attorney with over 27 years experience, the law office of Peter Bronstein has helped partners resolve disputes, franchisees resolve disputes, and other business owners who have a challenge. Let the law office of Peter Bronstein take your stress away. Visit lacorporateattorney.com. Don't wait too long and lose your rights. Solve your business challenge problem today. Visit lacorporateattorney.com.
It's like no other station I've ever listened to. It's great.
Your hometown station.
Welcome. We're back to the Ask Brien radio show. And we have Traci, my co-host, and two great guests, Craig and Mona. And I don't know why someone wants to scream it, but, I'm not sure what's going on here. Anyway, we're back. Traci, you had a question. I believe it was, I don't know if it was for Craig or Mona, but you're on.
Well, it's interesting because my question was actually something that we talked about on the break, which was the implementation of a co-packer versus your own manufacturing facility, and if that was a goal for you or not. So you shared a little bit of insight with us off the mic, but I think everyone else would love to hear, what your challenges are with having a co-packer versus your own plant.
Yeah, well, the variables of having, so basically if you had your own plant, you're running another business. That other business, unless Xicama is your main client, and you're running Xicama 24/7, you're going to have other clients to take over, and then you're dealing with other people's drinks and the nightmare of that. Now, having a co-packer as a partner would be exceptional because ultimately you can begin lowering prices. They don't care about your volume runs, and then when Walmart comes and asks for 1 million cases, you can turn that on right away. The key challenge, though, is that when Walmart comes, it's not about necessarily having a co-packer. Those are easy to find. The challenge becomes your economy of scale. How do I ramp up and deliver 1 million cans from 20,000 previously? Obviously, the capitalization. But COVID did a real number on supply chains around the world. So now you have canning costs. You have your plastic costs. You have your corrugated cardboard or recycled cardboard for your boxes. All those prices have gone up. All the supply is harder to find. There's more drinks entering the marketplace than ever, so that's really taking up the canning supply. So the key to us is not necessarily a co-packing facility. It's really the capitalization so we can increase our economies of scale, increase our volume, thereby decreasing our overall cost and increasing our cost, our margin overall. So having a plant, though romantically that sounds like you really have everything in your own hands, it actually is more of a challenge with something like that because then you're running a different business.
So, and one thing I want to mention about Walmart, okay, if you do get that big order from Walmart, they're going to cut you down on price so you're making a couple pennies. They are really sticklers in trying to keep that cost down so they can pass it along to their customers. So it is a very tough business to be in when you're dealing with a company the size of Walmart that has that much cash.
Oh, yeah.
So you get a lot of volume.
We've heard horror stories, especially with Costco, where friends thought they got the golden egg, the golden goose. They were going to be huge, but you have product that falls off a truck. You have client, people like his business was a furniture business, so people were returning hundreds and hundreds of their furniture because they didn't know how to put it together. And he's like, it just crushed us because the volume can be the savior or the destroyer of your business. So it's one of those things. So our next step right now, we're direct to consumer through jicamalife.com. We're prior to COVID, we were in conversations with Walmart. We're set up at KHE, which is an national distribution chain that handles Walmart and Erewhon and all those kind of different things. But our next focus is to begin looking at smaller specialty retailers that include like Erewhon, Mother's Market, and those that exist in the LA area. And if we can really do a really great job in Los Angeles, then what we do nationally and internationally really takes on more prominence.
And Mona, what do you think is the next step and evolution in this company?
Honestly, we see that Xicama is going to be the next superfood brand. We have, 3 flavors of a delicious sparkling water that we know are loved. So I see this taking off first. We want to maximize, obviously, the potential of the entire Xicama. So from there, the evolution, once we line up with the right partners, we're going to use the rest of our pulp that we use for the sparkling water, and then we're going to go directly out with the flour. So gluten-free flour products, nut-free products that can really tie into a better-for-you version of the gluten-free craze that's happening right now. And I think people really need to understand that, read your labels. If something says gluten-free or has all that check mark, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's good for you. The fact that, Xicama flour will be one ingredient, Xicama juice is one ingredient, we really want to stand behind that and deliver a better-for-you product that really tastes great. That's fun, that comes from the earth, that has one ingredient. So I really do see big picture for this. But right now, guys, I'm so excited to get the sparkling water out to everybody and to have it be such a success in the same way that it was at Coachella.
And I believe Coachella has been canceled again for this year. Is that correct?
Yes, it has.
Physically, not mentally. We're all going to party.
Well, it'll come roaring back, like everything else. We're hoping for everything to come roaring back. What is one tip that you would give if you were to do this all over again? What's the one thing you would do differently or better if someone's in your shoes right now?
You've got about 30 seconds anyway.
30 seconds.
No
what?
Pressure.
I think no pressure. I think I would focus on partnerships, partnering your way to success, and that's what we did. That's not something we should have done. That's what we did, and that was the key for us, because ultimately we didn't have the capitalization, we didn't have the background, we didn't have all these kind of different things. For us, it was about who else is doing a really good job in their expertise, and how can we align with them with what we're doing, and that has paid its dividends all the way through COVID. That's the key for us. That really made us the light at the end of the tunnel, is that we knew we had relationships and partnerships that would come back alive once we came out the other end.
And your website where people get in touch with you, because we got to go?
Jicamalife.com. Xicama with an X. Xicamalife.com.
Can people buy products directly from there?
Yes, sir. Free shipping right to your home.
I've already ordered them. Yes, I know that for sure.
All right, so your sales have now doubled. All right, so...
I hope not. I hope more.
Well, thank you very much. You're listening to KHTS 1220, 98.1 FM. We had a wonderful guest on today. Traci, thank you very much. Craig, thank you. Mona, you're insightful. I appreciate everything you offered, and we'll have you back on sometime in the future. Thank you very much, and welcome, and goodbye.